Today we'll be studying logarithms. So I assume you have some decent knowledge how exponents work. So say you need to raise 2 to the power 4. Okay, this is 16. Okay, 6 to the power 2, 36. Okay, let us consider even simpler number 1 to the power 221. 2021 is still 1. Alright. And we can extend this to fractional powers. Okay, so 1 by 2 to the power 3, let's say it's 1 by 8, and 1 by 5 to the power 2 is 1 upon 25. And these powers, okay, these exponents can also be negative. Okay, so you have 4 to the power minus 3 is 1 upon 24, 64, and so on. Now we can also do it the other way around. To what power should I raise 2 to get 16? Alright. So we say 2 to the x, let's call it x, gives us 16. 2 raised to the power which number is 16? Now of course you know it's 4, but what we'll do is take all the known terms to one side and the unknown to other side. So how do we represent this? We say that log, that's the whole concept of logarithms. Okay, log is the short form for logarithms. That's what we are studying today. Log base 2. Okay, so the base in this equation, okay, base is 2 to the power x. So this is the base. So log base 2 of 16. Okay, the final what we have, this number 16 is x. Okay, these both of them are equivalent. So you write this, they are completely the same. Now we know x is 4, so 2 to the 4 is 16. Okay, we can say log 2 base 2 16 is 4. Now if I erase this off and give you only this equation, this part, then you know you raise 2 to the 4th power and then you will get 16. So this is the basic idea behind log. Okay, a couple more examples. Say 3 to the log 3 to the 9. What is log base 3 9? That it is saying 3 to the which power will give you 9. Okay, now we all know this means x is equal to 2. From this we get, therefore log base 3 of 9 is 2. Now we can generalize this log. We can also look at fractional powers. So log base 1 by 5 to 1 upon 25. Okay, this will give you, 1 by 5 the power something is 1 upon 25. So clearly this is we have x is equal to 2, so log base 1 by 5 of 1 upon 25 is 2. Another quick example, log of 1 by 5 to the 25, this time 25. What is this? So again 1 by 5 some power equals 25. Okay, this is 5 to the power 2 or 1 upon 5 to the power minus 2. So log base 1 by 5 of 25 is minus 2. Now with these some examples being in place, let us generalize the log to any base and see what restrictions we have. Say we have log, okay, to the base some base a then b, and this equals x. Now this means, again, you know the standard formula and the definition, that this means a, okay, raised to the power x will give you b, okay. They both imply each other. So if you have this, you know this, and you have this, you know this. Now let us see what values a can take. Okay, so how this log function is defined. Okay, a should be greater than 0 and a should not be equal to 1. So since everything we are doing is in real numbers, okay, we can put real numbers, x can be real, b should be real. You can take it as a definition for log that, okay, a should not have negative values. Okay, so a greater than 0 and a should not be equal to 1. Now let's see why these two are true. So let us put a equal to 0, so we get 0 to the power something is equal to something. But that's clearly not the case. I mean, you can't raise 0 to some power and get a different number, right? 0 to the power 2 is 0, 0 to the power anything is 0. Now of course some of you may say, okay, what about 0 to the power 0? Well, it's kind of debatable, okay, even though some they say 0 to the power 0 is 1, okay, because if you graph the function x to the x, okay, so it looks kind of something, this is a very rough sketch, okay, kind of something like this. So it drops down at some value and then it rises. So at x is equal to 0 it becomes 1. So you can consider, but it's just a matter of how you take 0, define 0 to the 0 in one sense. So we're not going into these cases where we need to work with 0 to the 0 or anything like that. But this is the general way, okay, 0 to the something can't be any number, can't be any other things than 0. So we don't put x is equal to 0, a is equal to 0, the base something greater, it needs to be something greater than 0. And what about 1? Well, again it's the same case. Well, you raise 1, okay, to the power x, and you'll always get 1 no matter what the case. Okay, you keep raising 1, 10, 100, 1000, any value, okay, so any value, you'll always get 1. And this defeats the whole purpose of having logarithms, right? Something to the power something should give a different quantity, and clearly that's not the case. So so these are the two constraints of a should be greater than 0 and a not equal to 1. Now we can, what next we'll do is, we'll try to graph this log function, okay. We'll try to plot y is equal to log ax. Now I want you to think, this a, alright, can be divided into two categories, where a is between 0 and 1, okay. So I've used these round brackets because a can't be 0 or 1, okay, and a greater than 1. Now pause this video to think, how will y, or why will this function log ax will behave very differently for these values of a. So if fix a bit something between 0 and 1, the graph changes, and if we fix a something greater than 1, say 3 or 5 for example, the graph will look very different. Pause this video to think why that will be the case. So here we are trying to plot log ax versus x graph. Alright, now let us consider the case a greater than 1. Now let's see what happens. Now I'll take an example. Log 2x, okay, equal to y. Now what will happen as you increase x? How will y change? It will increase or decrease or what? Now you can convert this into your standard form. 2 to the power y will be x. That's how logs are defined. And you see, as you will increase x, your y should also increase, right? Because say you want to get 16, then you should raise 2 to the power 4. You want 32, you raise y 2 to the 5th power. So you can take some examples. 2 to the 0 is 1, 2 to the, if you want 2 here, you put 1 in this. You want 4, you put 2. So it's clearly, and so on. So as x increases, y will also increase. Alright, that's one thing. So it should be somewhat increasing. Okay, it should increase as you go along the x, it should go up. Where will this be 0? Okay, it's important to find zeros of these graphs. So log 2x equal to 0 for what x is equal to 0. Now if you change it into this exponent format, it becomes almost very easy to see. 2 to the 0 is x, and anything to the power 0 is 1. So clearly x is equal to 1. So at x is equal to 1, log in general, okay, I have just taken the case of 2, but for any graph, if this is the case, then x has to be equal to 1, because anything to the power 0, okay, is 1. This is clearly a root, so we somewhere over here, this is x is equal to 1. Now what if we start to decrease x? Okay, how? Let's see. If we start to decrease x between 0 and 1, so the function has to decrease. Okay, let's see how does it drop rapidly or what. So 2 to the power y is x. Okay, we saw it. Now let me take x is equal to 1 by 2, somewhere between somewhere here. 2 to the y is 1 by 2, so clearly y is minus 1. Okay, so if x is lesser than 1, y starts to give you negative values. Okay, so between 0 and 1, you will have negative values. So the function must look something like this, something which increases from 0 to 1, but it's still in the negative y direction. At 1 it should be 0, and then it should increase. Alright, and if you want to check for other values as well, 2 to the y is 1 by 4, so you get y as minus 2, and 2 to the y, let it be 1 by 64, just say, then y is minus 6, right? Yeah, y is minus 6. So as you decrease x, okay, as x will approach to 0, y should be very, very small to make x 0. Okay, so 2 to the something is 0. Of course, there's no number which you can put in y, but what you can do is to take the limiting cases. Okay, as x approaches 0, what will be the value of y? What will y value approach? Okay, so as x will go down to 0, y will become exceedingly small, very, very small. Okay, it will go down, it will go negative 10, negative 100, negative 1000, negative 1 million, so on till negative infinity. So as x will approach 0, y will become exceedingly small, very, very small. So you can say that, okay, y as x will be equal to 0, y will be equal to negative infinity. Alright, of course x won't be negative, so 2 to the something won't give you a negative number. Alright, so x won't cross, there's no point of the graph which will be in the third quadrant. The graph will look something like this. Okay, this is 1, between 0 and 1, it looks something, oops, okay, and from 1 it starts to get in the first quadrant. Okay, of course this thing is a lot smoother. This is how log ax looks like if a is greater than 1. Okay, it starts to increase. It doesn't approach any value. Of course, x is increasing, the y has to increase. It won't approach some value. This is how it looks like. Now let us consider the second case, okay, where a is lesser than 1 and of course greater than 0. So for a lesser than 1, let's start. So log, again we'll consider an example, half, in this case x equal to y, and we'll see how it works. So 1 by 2 power y will give you x. Now change the values and see how it goes. One thing is clear: when x is equal to 1, when x is equal to 1, y is equal to 0. That's true for any a, okay, regardless of if they're between greater than 1 or between 0 and 1. Okay, so the red graph will also intersect x-axis at 1, 0. Now let us vary x, okay, increase or decrease, and see how this function behaves. So if you put x is equal to, first let's increase 1, okay, y is equal to 0, we have done it. X is equal to 2, okay, then y will be -1. Okay, so as x increased, y has decreased. Now let's see, 1 by 2 to the power y is 4, so this gives y as -2. Alright, and this will go on. So as x will increase, y will decrease, and this is obvious because if this quantity is lesser than 1, if log ax, okay, if this quantity is lesser than 1, then it is a fraction, okay, it is a fraction. And if it is a fraction, any fraction, okay, not even 1 by 2, any fraction, you raise it to some power, okay, some positive power, you raise it to some power, it will keep decreasing. Alright, yeah. So as you keep on increasing this quantity, this will decrease. Whereas if a is greater than 1, okay, you keep increasing the exponent, this quantity will also increase. And that is the reason behind how these two cases behave very differently. It's because the fraction thing, raising fractions to a power, which changes things drastically. So we saw that as your x increased, y decreased, okay, whereas it was opposite for a greater than 1. Now you can make a guess, okay, if x will decrease, x will be between something between 0 and 1, it will increase. And yes, you are correct. Take an example again. 1 by 2 to the power y is 1 by 2. Alright, y, it's easy, y is equal to 1. Okay, it clearly has increased. Okay, from y is equal to 0, it has increased. When x was 1, y was 0, and x is 1 by 2, y is 1. So as x has decreased from 1 to 1 by 2, y has increased from 0 to 1. Okay, again 1 by 2 to the power say y is equal to 1 by 8, so y is 3. Again x has decreased, x has become 1 by 8, y has increased. Again 1 by 2 to the power y is 1024, y will be equal to 10. So as x has gone very small, this is a very small value, right? So denominator is very large, numerator is 1, the fraction, this whole quantity is very small. So this is very small, but since this is a fraction, this means your exponent is very large, 10. So let me draw its graph. Again 0 will be at 1, that's for all a's. Okay, so between 0 and 1, it should look something like this. Alright, and after 1, kind of looks something like this. Okay, it will go on. Now how do you explain this part? The same reasoning. Okay, this curve which shoots till positive infinity. How to explain this? The reasoning is extremely similar as 1 by 2 to the power y is x. Okay, if x goes smaller and smaller, okay, we saw how x went smaller and smaller, 1 by 2, 1 by 1020, 1 upon 1024, y increased. So if x goes to 0, again we are taking the limiting cases. X won't go to 0 for any power of y. Okay, no matter how large you put in, x won't be equal to 0. But we can take the limiting cases. As x approaches 0, y can be said to approach positive infinity. Okay, so if you even plot these functions, okay, in some graphing calculator, well, you will see it looks like they're approaching. Okay, y, and it will almost look as if you scroll upwards. Okay, as you scroll, trace these two lines, it will feel like, okay, they are the same thing. But if you zoom in, if you will start to zoom in, you will see that, okay, they are diverging. Okay, and they will never meet essentially. That's the thing on graphing calculators. Again, as x approaches 0, y approaches positive infinity, and hence this kind of structure. So today we learned the basic idea behind logarithms, solved a couple of examples, and saw how graph works. Also study the restrictions on A. Tomorrow, in the next video, I'll discuss some algebraic properties of log. Thanks for watching.